Hey, I'm Lupo,
Hey, I'm Lee.
and today we're gonna go see
First Man.
First Man.
Ooh, I'm really excited about this one.
So we're gonna go in and check it out. Now, I don't know a lot about this movie because I just didn't research it, so I'm kind of gonna walk in blind and see how it is. We'll be right back out here, and we'll tell you what we think.
All right, see you later. Let's go.
Hey, I'm Lupo,
I'm Lee.
and we just saw
First Man.
First Man.
Ooh, okay.
Really good movie, but we have a surprise for you. We met a new friend inside the theater, and we have someone to add to the review. I'd like to introduce to you Tara.
Hey,
come on
Tara,
in.
come on in. Talk
We're gonna
to us.
Stick her in the middle here.
Yeah.
So this is Tara, and we just saw.
She's short.
It's almost a progression.
Yeah,
Almost.
that's
It's
true.
like bop, bop, right here. Okay. We met Tara. She was actually sitting next to Mark inside the theater. So it was like Tara, Mark, and me. So we asked her if she wouldn't mind giving a review this time. So, and she seemed to, before the movie, we were talking about movies and how the best movies come out in the fall. And we're like, she would probably have a pretty good point of view. So let's start. Let's
All
start
right,
with.
let's go ahead and get her opinion of what you thought of First Man.
Yeah, let's talk about how'd you like the acting?
I thought it was really good. I thought the acting was spot on.
Was there a favorite? Is there anybody in there you particularly liked and their skill?
Neil and his wife.
Right, which is
yeah.
the Ryan Gosling
Yeah.
character, and the wife was Claire Foyle?
Something like
Claire
that.
Foy, something something like that.
I don't
yeah.
know names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked her acting too.
Yeah.
Very good.
I felt she, in some ways, she carried the film. I mean, she really became the glue that held all the characters together.
Right.
That's my personal opinion. I thought she was spot on.
Yeah, and I think if you knew anything about Neil Armstrong, if you read any history books or any biology books, Good one, biography books or anything on Neil, I think Ryan got his spot down, and that's probably the reason why Claire, I think, kind of shone a little bit more on that, because Neil Armstrong, a lot of people don't realize this, was a recluse. He was very, very an internal type of person. So, yeah, I think Claire did carry that. So that was the acting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I kind of feel like Ryan Gosling kind of carried the film.
Oh, okay.
I can see that.
Because, I don't know, maybe I kind of related because it kind of showed into their marriage and kind of the trials they went through, going through the whole process of going to space and everything they went through together as a couple.
Yeah.
And I really related to that. I feel like, especially, I think anyone who's married can kind of relate to.
Like yourself.
Yeah, I'm married to
you're
kind
in
of a
position.
recluse husband.
Are you?
Okay.
Like, he's very internal, and so like, what are you thinking? I want to know, and like, I kind of related to her, like her struggle of like, just tell me what's going
Exactly.
on.
Talk to me.
And these aren't spoilers, by the way.
Use your words.
So I just want to make sure these aren't spoilers. It's just basically talking about the characterizations
Yeah.
Oh
of
yeah,
the
that's right.
characters.
We
So,
don't
yeah.
give away spoilers, so we should.
Never.
I'll
Probably-
try to keep
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. So.
Never. He did land on the
Watch
moon.
myself.
Oops,
Yeah.
You can
spoiler.
edit if I say
Spoiler.
Yeah,
Went to
yeah.
the moon. We just spoiled it. Oh my God.
So
Okay.
we definitely can't talk about the shark. Okay.
Land shark, sand worm. Okay.
The
And
moon sharks.
how'd you guys feel about the story? Mark, what's your opinion of
Well,
how they put the story together?
The fact that it isn't an original story, the fact that all the history was transferred onto the screen, and a lot of people know what the history is. There was still the backstories that you had to be created. Of course, based on any research that they've done. Overall, there isn't a lot of information out there in terms of the relationship between he and his wife, and the idea of him going to the moon and how the family would take that. And I think they did a good job on that. I'm not factful on the portrayal in terms of whatever was said. Was it true? I'm sure there's a lot of liberty taken when people do autobiography movies. So I don't know. What did you think?
I really liked the attention to detail, like little things, like just and it would like kind of zero in on something that you might not have paid attention to because it can be really vital, and I like the way that they kind of zero in on stuff.
Right, the
and-
tragedies that he had to go through. Eventually, you see how that affects him down the road. So that was pretty well done, I think. What did you think?
So my big thing about movies is pacing, and I think the story needs to have a good pacing, which is why I didn't really enjoy Venom, because I felt it took forever for something to happen, and even though you need background and a build-up, there's a way to do that, and I feel that Venom failed that. This movie, I felt it was a little slow in the pacing, but it was very, very accurate, and I didn't feel that it suffered like Venom did in its
Yeah.
pacing. I felt it was a little bit better, but I did find myself doing this a few times.
You have an excellent point, because I just realized something. This movie is the opposite of Apollo 11.
Oh God,
Oh no,
yes.
Apollo 13.
Apollo 13,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
this is the
Apollo
opposite
13.
of Apollo 13, where Apollo 13 was
was
in your face. It was very
non-stop,
action-oriented,
yeah.
non-stop action. And even if it was a true biography or autobiography of those events, this was a little bit more artsy.
I agree.
Almost like an
Very-
indie type movie.
Very cinema. What's the word I'm like? Cinematographic.
You
you
too,
know?
huh?
Yeah,
It was very artistic in its portrayal of imaging. It was beautiful. It was
It
beautiful.
had a lot of Steadicam work in it.
Very much so.
It was pretty much like a documentary, but still.
Yeah,
Go
and I
ahead.
could feel like the pacing was realistic. Like,
Yeah.
I could say that it could be like slow, but it was realistic, and I didn't feel like it was frivolous. Like, it wasn't just trying to make it
Exactly.
long. Like, it was
Right.
really just telling the story realistically. And
Right.
I agree, which is why I liked it better than Venom.
Venom, yeah,
Because
yeah.
Venom, I was like, for crying out loud,
But
go
you
someplace.
and I
yeah.
disagree on Venom,
Yep,
and,
yep,
and
yep.
we get that,
Yeah,
so.
when I saw Venom, I just felt like it started out like a chick flick. Like, it hit all the things it's
I
supposed
like
to.
chick flicks. I don't
But it
have
was like,
problems
But
with it.
What?
if it was a chick flick, it was because you were seeing the inner workings of a man and how sensitive we can be when we buddy up with something.
All
So
right.
yeah, it was bromance. But anyway, so we're
All right,
talking
so-
about First Man.
First Man.
Yeah.
So I felt the story really stayed true to events. The one thing you did not get in this film was how immensely huge the Saturn V rockets are.
Yes.
So it kind of shows them, and they're like, "Oh wow,
Yes.
look at that." You really don't get a grasp.
Yes.
So
unless you visit KSC.
yeah, now if
know.
you go to the Kennedy Space Center here in like the Orlando,
Orlando,
Florida,
there is a
they
Saturn
have
V.
one of two
Yeah.
existing Saturn V's that aren't dummies. This was actually supposed to go up in space.
Right.
And when you go and you see it,
Sure.
it's mind blowing. You could stand inside the engine with room to spare.
Yeah. So
it's
that
immense.
is- that
so
is immense. Okay.
I kind of felt they could have gone a little bit more. Since we saw it at IMAX, I expected like Saturn V, and I went,
Yeah,
Saturn V.
and let's go to that, because
Yeah.
I guess the question would be: is this the movie that's needed to be seen in IMAX?
No.
I think so.
They
Yeah.
said no. She
Yeah.
says
Yeah.
yes, and I'm on the fence. So there you go.
Yeah,
you got
and the
your
reason
three.
why I say no is it didn't give me. Well, no, wait. I kind of take part of that back because the space scenes that they show
That's a good
are
point.
very IMAX
As
worthy.
well as the moon.
as well as the
The
moon.
moon was what I was thinking.
Yeah.
of,
No, those
Yeah,
the
as well
rest
as
of
the
the
moon.
movie is not IMAX worthy, but those scenes are immensely beautiful.
Right. So if you want to spend the extra money, of course, you should join AMC's A Plus.
Yeah,
and you
we're
get to
all
see.
actually we found out we're all members of the A
And
Plus.
you can see
Every single-
IMAX,
yeah.
Dolby,
A+
and
students.
whatever.
Yeah.
3 movies a week for $20 a month. I mean, come on, 12
And
movies.
we're not sponsored by AMC.
Exactly, but still 12
We
movies.
wish
a month.
we were.
But still,
AMC, hello.
right?
No.
But still, the good thing if you came on a Thursday or if you came on a weekend and you really wanted to see it in IMAX, which I'm thinking 2 of us are kind of pushing that you should, then you wouldn't be wasting that amount of cash, because that's like 17, 19,
Yeah.
20
Yeah,
bucks.
some
And,
craziness.
that's kind of okay.
So
What else?
Let's talk about overall. How did you like the film, Mark? How did you like the film overall, without giving a score?
Without
yet?
giving a score, okay, all right, because that's what I was going to ask. Overall, I liked it.
Okay. What about yourself?
Overall, I really liked it.
And overall, I also really liked it. I actually thought this was a very good movie. If you're expecting an action-packed thriller, this is not that.
It's not
this
that.
is a, let me tell you how this all started,
Right.
all the way up to the moon and back. And I felt the story and how they put it together was really good.
Yeah, there
Really
was
good.
a build, which we never spoiled. There was a build-up to a very, very well-known event that happened during the program that
Yeah.
just pretty much brought me to the edge of my seat, and I thought I was going to lose it because I love the space program, I adore the space program, and I said, oh man, now we're really going to see this played out? Holy crap! I don't know if I can take this, but
And it was done. It was
fun.
done really, really well.
It was.
and it was very impactful.
It was very impactful.
So,
okay,
Mark, let's talk
grades?
about rate your score. We rate for
Between
Tara
1
to
to
let her
10.
know. We rate from 1 to 10.
Right.
I go 0.5s and Mark will go 2.5s and so forth in
Yeah.
quarters. So
Yeah.
I'm a point. You can go anywhere you want.
I'm
Okay.
big on that, and a lot of people know if you've seen any of our reviews, you know how I feel that anything that's 8 and on are in the very good range. Anything below that will just be good. Of course, anything below a 7 would just be nah. So this
I've
definitely
given,
was
I've
not
given
a,
some 4s.
yeah. This definitely wasn't a nah movie. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would actually give it a 7.5. 7.5, ladies and gentlemen. So it does reach close to the very, very good. 8, 9s, and 10s are very good off the top over the hook. This was good, in my opinion. 7.5. How about you?
How about you, Tara?
I was thinking like a good solid 7.
It's okay. It's your grade.
Cause the
Stand
only,
by
the only
your
thing I would give
grade.
it like a 7 is just because it was long and it did. There were parts where you felt like, okay, like
Yeah.
I think they could have started like later in his life.
Later in this life? Oh, I see.
Later, like 'cause they
you
like
think
started
it
the
went too
very
far back?
beginning.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
because-
think
I got you.
They established his recklessness, and I agree they could have gone more closer
They
to
could
the
have.
to the space
God
program.
forbid they showed him in high school. You know, I really don't want to go through
no,
those.
no.
Yeah.
I was
But, like-
picked on by the bullies, and I said, "That did it. Down. I'm going to be an astronaut." you know.
yeah.
All right. So,
All right, so
what-
you-
So
7?
yeah, like, if
Okay.
it started like later, and actually I would have seen more after they got back from the moon.
Yeah,
I think
I-
that would have been interesting.
I think that
so
would have been
yeah,
too.
I agree with
I,
that.
I actually
shift the timeline.
stopping
Timeline
your score for a minute, but I actually did focus on the fact that they didn't go too far with the press. You know, you guys are just from the moon or whatever. They didn't do. Ooh, that's a spoiler. I can't say
We
that.
can't talk about it.
I can't
Right.
say that.
So-
But there are a lot of things that you know in history that was shown in relation to that you didn't see. But there's a lot of things in there that I think some people may get a little upset about. But
Got it.
that's your opinion
right.
when you see it. What about
My
you?
score.
You know what mine was? Mine was a 7.5.
Tara's a
Hers
7.
was a 7. And Lupo's is...
I'm gonna go 7.5 myself.
Ah, there you go.
And,
I think that's
wait,
a very
wait,
fair
but-
score.
Yeah, but let me tell
It's a
you
very
why
fair
I went
score.
7.5 because I was bordering between a 7 and a 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it the 7.5 because in
Or the extra half point.
the extra
Yeah.
half
Yeah,
point, because they really stayed true to life. They didn't embellish as
right.
much as they could
It
have
wasn't
embellished.
Apollo 13.
No, it was
You know?
really. It
Even
was
though I
about-
loved Apollo 13.
I
yeah.
think it was as close to a documentary as you could get without
I
having the real
agree.
people.
It's
Yeah.
a
Without having
dramatic.
people.
It's a dramatic documentary.
Yes, it was in my opinion, a documentary without the real people.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and
Yes.
Yeah,
for
I
that
agree.
reason, I
Yes.
gave it the extra 0.5.
Yeah.
So here's the big one. Would you
Mm.
own this?
Yes,
Would you own this?
Yeah, I think that there's stuff that
Yeah.
I would definitely own
So
this.
the three of us
very nuanced.
would
Right.
purchase this film and own this. It was a film I would watch again just because not only is it part of history. So I was telling Tara and Mark inside, my father actually designed the electronics for the lunar lander that went down to the moon with Armstrong. And my father knew Armstrong himself personally, and they had kind of a friendship.
Right.
So to me, it's part of my dad's history, and I would watch it. You know, although they should have put someone in there as my dad, but
Right.
that would have been fine.
And I actually knew Neil personally, and I
Yeah.
actually spent some time with Neil Armstrong. So this was even a little closer to me. For the fact that I wanted to see exactly how he would be portrayed by an actor who was not
I think he did
Neil
a
Armstrong.
great
So,
job.
I think Ryan
Absolutely.
Gosling did.
Did a
yeah.
great job.
Ryan
So,
Gosling did. Okay.
Overall, we all like the films. The average score is about a 7.5, 7.25.
yeah.
It's something that I think we all encourage you to go see. If you want to spend the extra money, I probably would see it in IMAX.
Absolutely.
So,
Okay.
I'm Lupo,
I'm Lee.
and our special guest, Tara.
Yay, Tara!
We're Lupo and Lee Reviews. Thank you so much for Tara for joining us today.
Like our Facebook page. Click.
Please like and subscribe.
Yep.
And we'll
definitely
see you
subscribe.
next week.
Oh, yeah. We'll see you next week. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye-bye.